What is up, guys, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I want to discuss some really cool leaks that I found on Twitter revolving around meme land. I also want to discuss interest rate hikes and what the market is predicting for the future. And I also briefly want to discuss Ethereum, cryptocurrency prices, and where I see things headed in the potential near future. If you've been struggling to navigate these markets and make profitable trades, you need to surround yourself with the right people and resources. So make sure to check out my private Discord in the description below, where you can get involved with the best possible scenarios to make profitable trades on a weekly basis. So the first piece of news I want to discuss is based around meme land and has to do with leaked information coming from the MVP lounge in the meme land Discord. Remember, guys, this is all going to be speculation, so whether or not this leaked message is accurate or not is to be determined. Regardless, I think it's super interesting and it gives us a decent insight as to where the heads team at when it comes to reveal and traits and how rares and things are going to happen in the collection. All right, so here is the tweet in question. Once again, this was a leaked message from the MVP lounge in the meme land Discord, and essentially what they're talking about is how captains will be bought and sold on secondary and how they plan on potentially splitting up rare traits from the captain itself to be tradable, sellable, and buyable on OpenSea or Blur or whatever marketplace of your choosing. So essentially they give an example here and they say, let's say there's an alien captains with a golden hoodie and the seller has it listed for 120 Ethereum. They can actually split it and sell the alien for 100 and the hoodie for 20. So that's essentially taking off some selling pressure there from the captain itself. The person doesn't have to fork up potentially 120 ETH. They can potentially just buy the rare trait itself and equip it to their captain instead of having to fork out that huge chunk of money. And this is essentially going to provide more liquidity to rare captains in general. If you've ever minted an NFT and it's fairly rare, you don't want to list it for floor. You want to list it above floor or around the same price of your current trait floor. And we all know that rares have less liquidity, take more time to sell, and for the most part more expensive. And they also say here that only rare traits will be tradable. So any rare trait that you have will be able to be split up from that captain and sold in its own separate listing. To me, that is really cool. It has some really cool innovation stuff there. And I'm really excited to see if this ends up being accurate and how that plans on affecting captain's liquidity, how rares plans on selling, whether people will buy the actual captain itself or just buy the traits. And I think the biggest goal here accomplishes two things. One, it makes liquidity for rare captains with rare traits easier to acquire. Two, it also means that you don't have to unstake or sell your captain at all. You can just unequip the trait that you want to sell and sell that certain trait. So you can continue to stake, continue to earn maps, continue to be a part of the ecosystem, potentially reducing the amount of listings after reveal, potentially reducing the amount of selling pressure on the entire collection as a whole. So I think it's an incredibly smart move, and I'm very interested to see if this leaked text is accurate, and I'm very curious to see how this all packages together when it comes to maps and meme coin and rare traits and how they plan on splitting that all up. I think it's a great idea, and I'm looking forward to seeing more from the meme land system and ecosystem very, very soon. All right, guys, moving on here, we're going to take a look at what the market is predicting for interest rates in the United States. And essentially what they're saying is next month on 5/3, there's an 87% chance of a 0.25 interest rate hike. So that is very different from a few weeks ago in these videos when I was talking about a potential pause come this next month, but it is looking very likely, if the market is accurate, and historically it has been fairly accurate, that there will be a 0.25 hike next month. Then they're saying about a 70% chance and a 56% chance of a pause for the following 2 months, and then they will start to cut rates. So whether that's accurate or not, I don't think is too big of a deal, but regardless, it's looking like one more hike and then potential pause to see how the market reacts, and then the Feds, what they decide to do from there. So obviously, it's been a fairly bullish month for Ethereum and cryptocurrency and even NFTs over the past few weeks. We've had a little bit of an NFT mini bull run. We've seen many whitelists do fairly well. My Discord has had quite a few profitable mints lately because we get a ton of whitelists and a lot of those whitelists end up being profitable. That's really been interesting and really cool to follow. And I think that has to do with overall liquidity coming back into the cryptocurrency and NFT ecosystem because rates aren't being hiked as aggressively. There's a potential pause coming in the near future, and people are just less worried about overall macro factors in general. All right, guys, so here we're taking a look at the Ethereum chart, and as you can see, and I've talked about this before, but we've essentially been range bound from $2,000 to about $1,000 for many, many months. And just recently, we have broken through this long range, long consolidation period to the upside above $2,000. And so basically from January 1st to now, if you had purchased the bottom, if you had been dollar cost averaging the bottom, you would be up about 80% from from the start of this year. So crazy to see, really cool numbers for a lot of people, but we have broken out of this consolidation zone, and it will be interesting to see because I think this $2,000 psychological level will be important to hold, and I suspect we are going to come down and test it, and then that will be the indicator to whether we're going to break back down into this consolidation zone, or we will continue potentially going sideways slightly above it, or continuing slightly higher during this potential interest rate pause. But this is really cool to see. We haven't seen ETH above $2,000 for quite some time. Obviously, Bitcoin hit $30,000 recently. We haven't seen that in quite some time. So bullish things are happening in the cryptocurrency sector, at least for now in the short term. This could all just be one last ditch effort before a potential recession in the United States. But regardless, it's good to see people starting to make some profits here and make some money. When Bitcoin and Ethereum have these sorts of moves where we go, up quite a few percents and we break through these consolidation zones, you're going to start to see altcoins and potentially NFTs do really, really well. Whether or not that's going to be something that's sustainable is to be determined. But at least for now, we've seen multiple altcoins pop off. There's been this talk about Pepe coin on my timeline a bunch. I'm not touching it because I feel like I'm really too late, but altcoins have been doing well, and whitelist mints have also been doing fairly well. So it's just another example of the money flow in the ecosystem where Bitcoin pumps, and then some of that liquidity gets taken into Ethereum, and then some of that liquidity gets taken to alts. And I've seen counter arguments, especially for this phase where Bitcoin and ETH have pumped because money is draining from alts and turning into Bitcoin and Ethereum for potential, gains or safe refuge. But I think it goes both ways, right? There's going to be people playing the markets both ways, and people are going to continuously look to multiply their money. The scalpers, the longers, the shorters, the NFT degen gamblers, groups of people are going to continuously look to multiply their money. And so the money flow is going to bounce back and forth between those 3 and 4 sectors. But keep an eye on this $2,000 level. If we retest $2,000 and then bounce off of it, that could be an interesting signal to watch. Regardless, I think we're going to need to test it a few times and hold it a few times for any sort of confirmation that over $2,000 is going to be the next consolidation zone. We might very well just break down back under this level and continue going sideways for a few more months. I also wanted to briefly discuss this NFT collection that minted not that long ago, and people were super bullish on it. It was called Outlaws, and you can see by this chart, it had a meteoric rise, and a lot of people who had whitelist minted and flipped for great profit. But then since reveal, it has slowly bled to basically nothing into oblivion. And I'm not trying to FUD anyone's Outlaws bags, but I do think it's a good example and a good cautionary tale for people to understand that buying into a pump to potentially flip a rare after reveal, or trying to ride some sort of momentum wave on secondary, on OpenSea, Blur, whatever it is, you're playing a very dangerous game. And a lot of times after reveal, you see this slow bleed into the void where people move on to the next collection. So make sure that you're not being this secondary buyer guy who's getting completely liquidated and is just being used and abused as exit liquidity. And so it's just another example as to why you need to join discords that do a bunch of whitelist raffles, so you can be the guys at the start of the run selling your whitelist to the people who are FOMOing in. You don't want to be the other guy, which is what we preach on this channel all the time. Secondary plays for the most part are going to be super risky, especially around reveal time. All right, guys, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We've had a very few interesting weeks here in the crypto and NFT land. Obviously, things are a little bit more greed focused and bullish focused at the moment because Ethereum and Bitcoin have done fairly well over the last few weeks. But take your time, take a look at interest rates, take a look at psychological levels and consolidation zones to kind of place your bets where you want. But for me, still dollar cost averaging below 2,000 Ethereum, and somewhere in the realm of mid 20,000s or even lower for Bitcoin. I'm just trying to stack up my bags to a certain level of exposure that is in my specific risk tolerance, to where I'm comfortable holding these bags, whether for the ups or downs, so I can take profits later on. But so far, my base case has shown to be at least somewhat accurate, where I was saying we were probably going to continue to go sideways or continue to trend higher because of how interest rates are currently reacting in the United States. One more hike, then a pause. We could see the same stuff continue to happen, bar some crazy black swan event or news catalyst that nukes the entire market. But dollar cost averaging, flipping whitelists, longing, shorting here and there is my current strategy, and high conviction plays in communities that I really believe in, like meme land and Utes and the other examples that I talked about on my Twitter, etc. That's my current plan. I'm not rushing anything. I'm taking my time, following my plan, and I think you guys should do that exact same thing. Otherwise, you're going to get caught in the pump and dumps, caught in buying and selling based off emotion, and you can easily drain your bankroll to zero following those sorts of trades. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure to check out my private Discord in the description below. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you guys in the very next one. Peace.